do. Hey everyone, it is Fe and Zara. We are back for another edition of Juice Plus Wellness in the Chef and Nutritionist series. Great to see you, Zara. Thank you for jumping on with me once again.
Hey Fee, thanks for having me.
This is fun. I'm loving this little series that we've started. And what I'm even loving more is today we get to talk about my favorite thing, and that is the gut microbiome. What's your thoughts?
I love the gut health topic as well because I actually had started my journey, and my first thing was to fix my gut health, and I found it really interesting along the way, the things that I learned. And yeah, as a chef as well, adding that extra knowledge into what I already knew has been it's been a game changer for me.
Yeah,
So
for
I'm
sure.
happy to share it with everyone else too. So
Yeah, and look, it's just so important because the gut microbiome, which is pretty much our colon, right? It's pretty much where it's all happening. And it's so important to keep it healthy because that's pretty much where, well, some major things happen, but it's also where our immune system lies. And that whole brain gut connection, when people talk about that, they're actually talking about our microbiome because it can actually decide what can tell the brain what it needs. And I think we're going to talk a little bit on how to make sure it's a nice, clean microbiome. But when it's not, this is when the whole sugar craving issue becomes a problem because those, can I say the word, shitty little bad bugs that are taking up space in your microbiome, they are the ones sending the signal to the brain saying, sugar, sugar, we need sugar, sugar. And, if we think about some forms of cancer, colon cancer is a really big one and a horrid one. And, it's because we've got so much of these shitty little horrid bacteria sitting in there. So let's talk about how to clean up the axis. If we think of it like a garden, and a garden that we know is going to nurture our whole body, mind, and systemic immune system, whatever. We want to nurture the garden. We want to give it the good stuff. So let's talk about fiber and prebiotic foods. Tell me your thoughts on those.
absolutely, we have to feed our flora. We have to help that garden grow. Our stomach is our second brain, or our gut is our second brain, and like Fee said, in constant communication with our first brain through our lovely vagus nerve. But yeah, there are some really good foods that will, help you improve your gut health. And that's high fiber foods such as quinoas, brown rices, leafy greens, all your crucifers. Fermented foods is another one as well. I love fermented foods, and I've got a great recipe for kimchi. Here's my kimchi here.
Yep.
Yeah. This is actually a different recipe that I tried, and I can't wait to try it, but it's still fermenting away, so I can't open it for another week yet. But yeah, fermented foods are brilliant for your microbiome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just giving all those, beautiful prebiotic, all the things that your gut needs to,
Yeah. And I think probably the really important message that we have to send, and just a disclaimer, we are not suggesting that you all become vegan. That's not where we're going with this. But what you do need to understand is that you cannot get fiber from any animal or animal product. It will only come from plants and leafy greens and the cruciferous, as Zara said. Okay, so let's put your chef hat on for me. Well, you don't have to literally do that. But let's talk about how to make this appetizing, because when we're talking about broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, some people, I don't know why, but they don't get as excited as we do about these veggies. What can we do to make sure that we're getting good quality fiber, and how can we make it yum?
Okay, first of all, it's where you're buying your produce. So you want to buy the best, cleanest produce as possible. So preferably organic or your natural local fruiterer that uses limited pesticides, if not none.
Or grow
um,
your own.
or grow your own as well. Absolutely.
Hard to draw. It's
Um,
not hard to grow kale and spinach and silver beet, and
oh, yeah.
collies and brocks take a little bit more time, but
Yeah. If
you
you've
can
got
get
a
it done.
glass, like even if you're in a unit, like you don't have a house or a yard and you're in a unit and you have a beautiful sunny spot somewhere in your kitchen under the window, you can set up a little pot under your window and grow whatever your herbs or anything that you
Yeah,
want.
for sure. And it is a way to keep the cost down and also have complete control, because you have the option of buying the quality soil,
Yeah.
the organic plant or seeds, whatever you're starting with, and then nurturing them themselves. We might have to do a whole other series on um, pesticide-free growing plants, and I'll take you for a tour of my garden. I need to get a gimbal. My friend Mel told me I needed a gimbal for my garden tour. So anyway, let's go back to some yummy recipes to make these veggies fun and exciting and appetizing.
So the best way to eat your vegetables is raw. But if you would like to cook them, keep a little bit of a crunch in your veggies. You don't want to overcook them to the point you're cooking all the nutrients out of, say, the broccoli. I don't know about you, but I do not like overcooked broccoli. I much prefer to eat it raw.
Much.
Yeah. But you can roast your veggies. The nutrients will stay in roasted, really quickly roasted. The longer you cook something, the more nutrients come out of it. So the quicker you cook it, the better. So steamed veggies are the way to go. You can toss it through a salad. You can make, there's so many different recipes out there with beautiful salads. You can do hot veggie salads, um, cold veggie salad, any way you want. And there's also some beautiful dressings that you can make that are actually good for your belly as well, using good fats and um, those little extras to give it some
A bit of
flavor, which
ACV and a little bit of
yeah,
olive
Dijon
oil
mustard
and
as well is good for your
Dijon
belly.
mustard. Yep, nice.
It's a crucifer plant, so and there's no baddies in Dijon. I always have a jar of Dijon in my fridge.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's good on lots of things. And I hear what you're saying around the overcooking, because, especially if you're steaming, like you only have to walk away for too long, answer the phone, scroll on your phone, whatever it is that takes you away, and you come back and then your broccoli is like, and then when you take it out, you're just looking at the steam water and it's all vibrant green. It's like, yeah, well, that's where all the nutrients are. I would, because I use filtered water, so I will actually reuse that veggie water anyway. Do you do that? I
I
use,
have in the past, yeah, I have used it in the past,
yeah,
but like you just keep it for a stock.
yeah. I keep it for a stock, or sometimes I just chuck it into, I use it as a base for my smoothies,
Yeah, okay.
which we'll talk about in a minute around smoothies. But okay, so raw broccoli, cabbage, red cabbage.
Yeah.
Cauliflower rice has had a really big surge in popularity, and that made me really happy, because I was like, yes, a fun way to eat cauliflower for people who don't want to eat cauliflower. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, cauliflower, when we go somewhere for dinner, not mum. Mum was a super cook, but you go somewhere and they would just ladle this cauliflower sauce. Oh, God knows what was in it. Probably just flour and water. I don't know what they put in that, but it was pretty ordinary. And they just drown out the whole cauliflower, and you just go, yeah, well, I'm not eating that, especially if
Oh,
it's overcooked. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
keeping it raw. I haven't tried a broccoli rice, but I'm pretty sure I could probably do the same thing. Hey,
Well, you could probably do broccoli and cauliflower together,
yeah, that'd
you
be
know,
nice.
and
And the
stem.
stems, right? Make sure you're throwing the stems in, because that's where all the freaking nutrients is. Like, it's
Yeah, the
hiding
stems in everything, the stems and the skins of most fruit and veggies, that's where all the nutrients lie.
there. Yeah, for
So
sure.
when we're peeling our carrots, don't peel them, just give them a wash.
Yeah,
You know, keep
yeah.
those. Yeah,
Keep them on.
yeah,
Let's talk about science, because it's one of my fun things to talk about, because once we've got these amazing fiber fueled vegetables in, and there's plenty more. We're not just limiting this to this. The more variety and the across the rainbow that you can get in of your veggies, is all going to help. But the role of them is around the production of short chain fatty acids, or CFAs, which some people call them, because the gut microbiome is there to ferment all that prebiotic food and produce those CFAs. And there are three: there's acetate, propionate, and butyrate. And these guys have got a really, really important job. So they are for insulin and fructosaccharides, so which increase the butyrate. They are for working within the gastro tract with anti-inflammatory properties. So particularly butyrate, it's really, really important for the cells that line the colon. So I was talking about before with the whole colon cancer, it's also leaky gut and IBS. Okay, these the colonocytes. I should know all these words, shouldn't I? They are the cells that line the colon, colonocytes, because pretty much we are just like tissue, bone, and microbes, right? That's what we are, and we need to help these colonocytes by producing butyrate, because that is its primary source, and that's the butyrate has the anti-inflammatory properties. So it's that whole gut barrier. So when we talk about people with IBS, leaky gut, all that kind of stuff, it's around getting more butyrate into the diet, and the only way you can do that is actually eat fiber-fueled foods. So not only just improving the gut health, it's about the metabolic benefits for energy metabolism, insulin sensitivity, fat storage. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Immune and neurological effects. So they're kind of really important, these CFAs. They've really got an important role in the body, and what we know to be true, because evidence is showing us, and I'm all about the science and the stats, is that we know that 96% of Aussies, New Zealanders, adults and children, are not getting anywhere near the 2 fruits and 5 veg a day. It differs. Kids are better at the fruit, worse at the veggies. Adults can be a little bit better at the veggies, not so good with the fruit, because fruit's had a bad rap, right? Oh, it's full of sugar. It's like, man.
Yeah.
No, no, white bread is full of sugar. An apple is not full of sugar. So it's really important that we actually get these in the diet. What are your thoughts on immune health? And so you're making kimchi, and you're making these foods so that those little microbes in your gut, they are going to be so happy to see the kimchi arrive. Like, it's just like a reward, right?
Yep. Like, and it's such a reward. Like, I'll put some kimchi through some scrambled eggs, and 5 or 10 minutes after I've eaten it, I'm just like, oh, my belly is happy. It actually, you can feel it. It's just such an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the serotonin too, right? Because there's all this hormonal effect going. We know that we get this serotonin burst from the taste buds going, oh, that feels good. Let's compare your eggs and kimchi to a Macca's burger. So you might be going, oh, this tastes good. And then it gets down here and your stomach's just going, what have you done?
Yeah. What is this you've put in my belly?
This is foreign Franken food, I like to call it. This created food. I don't recognize it. What am I going to do with it? So, of course, it's going to store it. It's not going to make butyrate out of it. It can't make butyrate. It's not helping the cells, the lining in the colon and the colonocytes. And this is where we get deposits within our colorectal column, and it's just, that's where we start getting this inflammation, and it's not good. So we are all for all of the good stuff. I was going to touch on smoothies, because a lot of people will say, what's an easy way to get these veggies into my diet? And I love a good smoothie when time does not permit for me to, if I've got to head off and drive somewhere, I'll throw my smoothie bag through the Thermomix with some water, throw it in anything, and I know at least I'm getting something in my stomach that is good, and it would prevent me from stopping and getting something that's not so good. However, the smoothie revolution, this constant drinking of smoothies is actually having a reverse effect on weight. I don't know if you've read about any of this, or you've seen any of this, or maybe you've got people in your community who it's a liquid breakfast, a liquid lunch, as in I'm not talking at the pub. I'm actually talking, backing it up with another smoothie. Maybe it's a protein smoothie in the morning or after the gym, and then it's kind of this lunchtime smoothie because they're on the go and they're eating on the go. So there's none of this rest and digest. But that's the whole problem. There is no digestion. So when this lands in your gut, whilst it might be all good stuff, not about broccoli smoothie, haven't done that, but definitely lots of kales and spinaches and, zucchini and a little bit of avocado. Love those in a green smoothie, celery. But there's nothing for these, nothing there for them to turn into these short chain fatty acids, right? Because it's already been broken apart. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So I think what we need to remember is we have teeth for a reason. We actually do need to start. You spoke about this earlier about the digestion starts when you're looking at the food, and then the whole mastification of chewing food. How important that is for all the absorption that happens in the mouth. So when we're doing the whole smoothie thing, we're avoiding all of it, right?
Yeah.
We're sucking it through a straw. There's no chewing. It's going straight down to the gut. Gut's going, oh yeah, thanks for doing our job for us. Like, we've got work to do. You've just made us unemployed. And so what will happen is they'll die off, right? Those good bugs will die off. So I think it's about the whole, well, it is. I don't think I know. It's about the whole balance. So let's talk about a really good meal plan for a day that's fiber fueled for a busy person. What are we going to start with for brekkie? What do you think?
Depending on the day, just say it's a 9 to 5 job. So you'd get up, glass of water first. That's what I do in the morning. I have a glass of water just to wake everything up, have your shower, you get ready for the day. And then I would, in the morning, if you've got an active job, I would have something like overnight oats, a slow release, high fiber diet.
Yeah.
In the morning, so that fuels you all day, and it's slow releasing all those, beautiful minerals into your body. You can also make, quinoa. There's different types of, gluten-free options as well for that type of recipe. If you're a snacker, you'd have, a little snack for morning tea with a cup of tea or a coffee if you're a coffee lover. But when we're cleansing our gut, we try and cut that out, don't we?
Well, you know what? It's got a lot of benefits. The thing is with coffee, it needs to be black. It needs to be without sugar, and it needs to be good quality coffee to get the benefits of it. It's unfortunately when we load it up with
sugars and creams
and dairy, which you and I will have a whole lot of podcasts on sugar and dairy one day. But even some of the plant-based milks, like not all plant-based milks are created equal.
No, that's right. I don't plant-based milk because I've got my own milk maker machine, so I know what's in my milk. Because some of those long life milks, if you actually read the ingredients, there's still so
much sugar in there, hey, and also just the lining of all those Tetra packs. A whole other toxic discussion we can have another time. But okay, so overnight oats or chia puddings or the quinoa,
Yeah. And if you want something light, maybe just like a fruit salad or some granola, some yogurt, which is good. I love coconut yogurt, just plain vanilla coconut yogurt, and I can flavor it with my smoothie powders if I want to flavor it.
You make your own coconut yogurt. Two ingredients,
No.
right? Two ingredients. We'll talk about that another day. Don't buy coconut yogurt, people. It is so cheap to make. And then you, again, once again, but like your veggies patch, you know what's going into it without all the additives. Sorry, I digress. Keep going.
Yeah, that's all right. You need to do that coconut recipe. What else? So for lunch, I would probably have a light salad. And then afternoon tea, because usually by 3 o'clock, you're sort of hitting that slump, aren't you? So you want something to bring back that energy. That's that point, I would have a smoothie.
Yep.
Because I've already had my 2 meals and now I'm adding in all those beautiful vitamins and minerals on top of what I've eaten.
Yeah.
That will get me
through. Of course, our Juice Plus Complete, that is low GI. So that's going to get you through not only that slump, and it has natural sugars in it.
Yeah. And then by the time you get to dinner, you don't want carby foods. So we shouldn't be eating carbs after 6 o'clock at night. Because you've had that smoothie in the afternoon and it's satisfied those little cravings and settled your microbiome down. So by the time you get to dinner, you'll be like, okay, small amount of protein and maybe some veggies and salad.
Yeah, steamed veggies or even a veggie soup if it's winter maybe. With some black beans in it, some yummy. Yeah, oh man, we need to get in the kitchen. Yeah, and that is an ideal day. It really is about rewarding our gut. And at the end of the day, like that might sound like a bit of preparation, but we have ways, right? We can do our overnight oats so it's ready. Like we can do it on Sunday and get us through for a few days, do another batch and get us through for a few days. We can do our salad in a jar preps. We're going to do a whole session on salad in a jar and how easy that is, because all then you have to do is tip it out and add dressing. Too easy. Chopped up fruit and veg, carrot sticks, celery sticks, that kind of stuff. That's easy to prep and have it ready. And things like, reserving your water from when you're steaming your veggies, using that as your stock for your soups and prepping. So don't over complicate it by trying to do everything each day. And even with the smoothie packs, if you're adding extra into your complete, you can always have those chopped, frozen in the freezer just to add to your Ninja or whatever you're doing on the go. So that makes me really happy. Makes me really hungry too. Feeling to go and have a nice quinoa salad with and I love combining, the legumes and the grains too, because that not only for satiety, but it does reward those short chain fatty acids so they can get to work and do the things that they need to do, which as I said, it's for our metabolic health. We just can't ignore it.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the more dis-ease we are in, and the more we don't pay attention to getting enough fiber into our diet, the worse it gets. And I can honestly say, because I'm in my 50s, so I'm watching my cohort, get a little bit older, and I'm looking at who's been doing the right things and maybe who hasn't. And maybe it's lack of education. Maybe it's lack of time. There's always some reasons for not looking after number one as number one. But I tell you what, I'm not the one at any hospital right now. And I think, the message, we say it so many times, you pay the farmer or grow your own, or pay the pharmacist later. And it might not be today, but long term, you just can't ignore that your body needs. It's like buying the Ferrari and just like putting Macca's bloody Coke mix into it and going, hopefully that'll work. It's running, it's going okay. And then, a couple of days maybe later, you've got nothing because, why invest so much why not invest into your own health? Because this is the only vessel you've got to walk around.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Any closing comments?
No, I don't think so. Not today. Actually, yes, maybe for all you listeners and watchers out there, clean out your pantry. You know, do the research, look at the foods that are good for you and what you like, but are also good for your belly as well, because the first point in fixing your health is your gut health. That's where it all starts.
Yeah,
So
100%.
that is my little advice for the day.
100%. And then if you need extra support, if you're looking for programs, meal plans, recipes, you're in the right place. We've got you covered. So just reach out to whoever shared this video with you, or perhaps you are already within our community, in which case reach out to one of us and we'll point you in the right direction. Zara, as always.
Next time I'll bring along the coconut yogurt recipe.
Yeah. Okay. 2 ingredients. Too easy. All right, Zara, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me on our fun podcast where we get to talk about things that we love to talk about, and hopefully our listeners find it as interesting as we do.
Thanks, Jane, for
See
having
ya.
me. Bye.